Hi, I'm Chris here. Welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you're watching my video, please make sure you read on the description and the title below for the current software version that I'm using right now. My goal with this channel is to help you to become a better modular. So please take a moment and let me know in the comment how am I doing. Remember to leave a thumbs up so it can help the YouTube to share this video with a wider audience. And if you aren't subscribed, please do so and click on the bell for future content. Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about how do you create column in TRBC-III. Right now, you always go to the draw tab over here. Do not go to identify. Why? In the draw tab here, all the features and the function will most likely to help you to model your column. And for the identify tab over here, when you click on this one, the features over here and the function will help you more on the selecting on the cat line and also identify PDF things such as this. So you can accidentally select on the layer itself, just like this in TRB. So be careful. Once you select it, you might accidentally delete the layer, the drawing layer as well. So be careful about this. Always go to the draw tab over here. The next thing is that to create a column, you can either go to the favorite over here and the column will appear over here. So for TRBC, you just only need to point your mouse in the icon. It will appear the description for the icon. Or you can just move your cursor to the middle of the line over here. Once your cursor change to this icon, you can drag it open just like this. Okay, or you can either go to a favorite, there's a column over here, or you can go to column and there's a column over here to create a new column. Press on the new to create a new column. When you click on it, it will appear rectangular column, round, irregular, and parametric. So this one is quite different from the TAS arrangement. As you can see, TAS arrangement is that you'll be have an icon inside here, but in TRB you do not have. So in this video, we're going to talk about rectangular column. So you just need to click on the rectangular column. So once you create a new column, the attribute editor table will appear on your right by default. So let's say you accidentally close this thing. So what you're going to do is that you can open the attribute editor over here. As you can see, there's a small icon over here. Click on this one, it will appear on your right over here. Or you can click on this one to appear as well. Let's say you accidentally drag this or you maybe misplace this attribute at the center of the drawing. Even how you click on this one, it won't back to its original style. What should you do? Select on the restore defaults in. Yeah. Once selected, it will restore and you need to select again the element list and the attribute. Yeah, it will back to default. And other than this, let's say you want to view it, have a better view or the information over here, you can always drag, select your mouse and drag it open, just like this one. Main column schedule, yeah, just like this method. Okay, so right now you need to open up your column details. For me, I always prefer to put on the left screen if you have dual screen for your easy to viewing purpose, or you can just open up your drawing by selecting identify, select on the drawing manager, select on the drawing that you imported. In this case is the column and put it near your layout. So from here you can easily put in the information inside your attribute. Change the name of the column, selecting on the name over here, change to C1, or you can select it over here. Both way will do, just like this. The next will be changing on the size, section width and height. Follow on this column schedule. So it's 600, 600. Just key in accordingly. So on this main bar and the link, we will explain about this in the next video. It will take quite some time for explain on this area and the leg as well. So yeah, that's all. And then for the next one, we'll be filling on the C2. Copy directly C1 and duplicate to the C2. From here, you don't need to change the name, and also some of the size you do not need to change. For the height here, 600. This is actually represent 800. In the software, you might be confusing why there's a height over here and there's a height over here. Is a height for the floor? No. Actually, the software means the height is that is the length of the column. The height over here represent the length of the column. So from here, change it to 800, just like this one. Okay, so you can see the column is same size as the column schedule. Yeah. The next one will be C3. Copy the C2. So from here, I don't need to change the name. Don't need to modify the name. So from here, change the width and the height. Exactly, you'll see the column. So right now, we're going to talk about the concrete grade. As you can see, the concrete grade over here is in bracket C35. The bracket actually means by default following the project setting. In the floor setting over here, make sure you click on the right floor, ground floor. The column will be followed exactly over here. Concrete grade C35. Let's say you have a lot of column that is same grade as C30 or maybe C40. You can directly change from here to prevent you for do extra ways like changing every single one of them. You can change the master floor setting over here. Everything will change as accordingly. Well, in this case, I will change manually because this only have 3 column over here. So for the C1 is grade 30. I will change the C35, select it and change to 30. And then C2 and 3 is 40. So I will select both of them and change to 40. So right now I need to talk more about this attribute editor. As you can see on the attribute name, not to log into this value, log on to attribute name here, you will see there's a blue color wording versus black color wording. Blue color wordings means that it's a public entity and black means it's a private entity, which is also mean individual. I will show you an example here of C1. It will clearly explain about these two private versus public. So the first step, I will click on this column over here. I will select changes on this width, which is, you see the width over here is in blue color wording. I will change from 600 to 1000. Okay, when I unselect this column, automatically the C1 in the list here will change accordingly. When I select the C1 at the list here, I will change to 600 and the column will change back by itself. This is called public entity. So right now I will to change on the private entity. I'll select on the column over here. I will to change on the top elevation. From top elevation, I change this to 1. When I unselect the column, as you can see, the C1 in the list here still remain the same. If I were to point a new column at beside here, you will see there are 2 different columns. One with the adjusted private entity and one is remain the same as default in the element list. So from here you can easily explain that the black color wording is at private, so be careful on this one. Please use it wisely. And also the next one I will be talk about on the summary info and also construction phases. I usually use more on these two. Let's say the summary info, I can put it like maybe in podium. Let's say these 2 columns will appear in this floor. This floor I call it podium floor, and the floor above I will call it as tower. So you just change it accordingly. Remember, this is a private entity. Once you change over here, you need to change as well over here. So make sure you change everything first and get everything ready before you point the column. which is more efficiency, you see. So the next step will be I will change on the construction phase. Usually in our BQ, sometimes we call this column as COB, column on beam. We have to separate out, you see, or we can name it as round column or just normal column. Refer back to your drawing and the layout as well to list this. So the purpose of doing this is that after you've done everything, when you calculate, it will arrange properly inside the reports. So you can easy to extract your quantity rather than you have to look back and then class it again. So you have to do this thing correctly before you point the column. Yeah. Right now, I'm going to talk a bit about this ADD, and there's a box over there. As you can see, there's a box beside each of the attribute name. Usually, I will click on the box. Let's say I will select the whole column over here, and I will select one of the box. Its name is width, selection width. Once I select, it will appear beside the column name, just like this. So I will usually select on the width and height, and also the grade. But this time in TRB, I will usually select on the rebar. So as you can see, it already appear the column name and the size beside the column. Easy for you to do a checking. Let's say without I'm going to C3, I already know that C3 is 1650 times 1650. Right now we're going to talk about pointing column. To point the column, make sure you select on the right column, click on point, and once you see the cursor, look carefully on the cursor, it will move until the intersection point. You will see this cursor change from this side to this side. Click on it. Yeah, that's all. So remember, always unclick this random point, so it will make it easier and less error. For C2, from here, there's two methods to point this column. One is select and point. After that, select the column and do a rotation. Rotation will follow the step over here. Select the base point, start of the base point, select the corner here, and move the column. Yes, just like this. Press yes to delete. Here we go. Another method which is using this method, rotation point, select point, click on the rotation point, click on the intersection point or the corner, prefer to you. Select it and move your mouse until you see another point. There's a triangle point over here. You see? Select on it. Yeah, here you go. You got your column ready. Next, we'll talk about column 3. It will same as column 1 as well. Select it. Another tips is that you can press F4 to allow you to easy to select on the edge, the four edges, just like this. Make sure you unclick this rotation point after use and point. Yeah, that's all. If your column is same as the floor above, or maybe you want to make an adjustment, always copy column from the floor above and copy up to the floor above to make adjustment and to delete. Yes, like this. So in this case, when you see 3D, your column will be copy from down to top. So I give an example is that if let's say you use on the add view, I'll delete this column at floor 1. I point the column again. Let's say I use on add view and I did not point on the exact point. Let's say something like this. Then in 3D, your column will be look quite weird because it's not at the same location. In TRB, usually this error will cause some rebar changes, and the rebar might be a band over here, some rebar, and it will become inaccurate. Yeah, try to not point, use random point, and always copy the column from the floor below. So after you done your column, make sure you cross check After that, then you can perform the calculation. You can go to the quantity tab over here and the calculation tab over here, select it, and the window will appear, and select all floors and calculate. Yeah, that's all. In TRB, calculation time will take a bit longer, so make sure you do not have an urgent task later. If not, you will have to move this calculation further. It also depends on the size of the project. Another method of calculation is that you can select F9, a short key for calculation. Yep. And lastly, after calculate, you can view your report over here, view quantity by category. So by selecting on this one and select the range, click on OK, then you appear the summary quantity reports. From this report, I will prefer you to go to column over here, and by the way, you can classify and organize your report according to your BQ. Right now, by selecting of this show subtotal, it will make you easy like to extract the quantity. To customize on your report, you can go to set range setting per floor, or you can go to set classification. In this case, I selected rebar type in front of here, summary info, and then construction phases. So from here, I organize my thing. I hope this thing will help you, because when you organize your report well, it will save you tons of time from extracting the quantity. So this is quite important. It will save you a lot of time. Yeah, thank you.